guys, this is Indranil. Welcome back to our YouTube channel Webskitters Academy. So hopefully you are enjoying this ethical hacking and cybersecurity series. Hopefully you have watched the last video as well on Wi-Fi hacking. If you have missed it, please click on the I button and watch it, go through it, because today it's a continuation of Wi-Fi hacking series. Is the next part of it. So in the today's video, we'll see that how we can steal the credentials using Wireshark. And obviously we know to monitor the network, to know more about the network, Wireshark is the best tool for the ethical hackers. So we'll see in depth of it using the live demo session of it, and it will be taken by our most prominent important student Sampat Banerjee.
So in a previous class, we have seen that how hackers will get inside your network using Wi-Fi hacking. So you might be wondering that what is the worst that can happen? Like the hacker will use your bandwidth, will use your data, it will get extinguished fast. So that is the worst that can happen, but it's not. The worst that can happen is getting your credentials, getting your data which you are sending over internet. That data, that credentials, that username passwords of banks or social medias, it will be completely understandable to the hacker using certain softwares and tools. So that will be very harmful basically. So how does that happen? Basically, when you are in a system, the system basically converses with each other using internet traffic, using packets. So it sends packets over the Ethernet or Wi-Fi. It sends packets, and that is basically the information that is being shared over internet. That is how you get your Facebook page. That's how you log in inside your Facebook page and do every other thing inside your internet. So that will be very much vulnerable if a hacker is in your system. So let's see how it will happen. So for that, we'll use a tool known as Wireshark. So let's fire it up. So this is the first interface page of Wireshark. So here we can see that there are different interfaces over here. The most important are Ethernet 0, loopback, and Bluetooth monitor. So Ethernet 0 is basically your primary connection that is being connected to your laptop or your desktop. It's basically Ethernet port, Ethernet connection. And loopback or localhost basically is 127.0.0.1. It is basically your localhost if you want to check traffic of your localhost. For developers basically use this stuff, so it will be useful for that kind of scenarios. And there is Bluetooth monitor if you want to check traffic of Bluetooth, so it will be useful. But for now we are more focused on the Ethernet 0, and over here as you can see that the graph is moving on Ethernet 0, which means the Ethernet 0 is the only one that is getting internet traffic or internet packets. It's sending and receiving internet packets. So the hacker will be interested in this only. So let's get into it, see how it will look. So right off the bat we can see that we are getting certain information, we are getting certain packets that are being sent to and from this system. That is conversing between two systems in this Ethernet network. So you can see over here. So how the hackers will use this, how the hackers will utilize this packets, the information, how they will use it. So first we need to understand what are the technical details of this packets. So over here we can see that we can find about the source, we can find about the destination, we can see the protocol, length, info, everything over here. So which means that the protocol is SSTP, the length over here, the information over here. So these are all basic things, that which means even if your system is idle, your system is even conversing that time also. So this is the information we can receive from this point of view right now. So let's take an example where we will check the data or we'll get the credentials of this system only, not some other system, only this system, the one we are using right now, the Kali one. we'll see how we can receive information using Wireshark, how Wireshark shows everything that is happening inside your network. So let's go to Mozilla Firefox. So here we can see we have opened a page called testphpworldweb.com. It is basically a testing website. We can use this website to check that we are gathering credentials or not. Over here we can see that there is a username password box and there is a login button. So let's see what happens if we enter a username password. It will be wrong, but let's see what Wireshark will show it. So let's go. For username we'll use something random like username, and for password we'll use 12345. Let's see that these credentials appear in our Wireshark or not. So let's press login. Over here you can see that the Wireshark is getting a lot of information. Let's click on don't save and see how we'll find out this information inside this Wireshark. So to understand Wireshark, we need to first see that which traffic is being generated from our system. To know that, we need to identify our IP address. For this system, the IP address is 192.168.72.130. So this is the IP address of this machine only. So we now know this. So now we'll see only those packet information where the source and destination is any one of them is either 192.168.72.130. So now we're focused on that. So that is now clear. But we also need to understand that we are trying to go for HTTP data, because we actually filled up a form which is HTTP page. It uses a hypertext protocol, and we need to see that HTTP protocols only. To see that, in the display filter we'll just use HTTP. So now you can see it has filtered a lot of requests. There are few actually right now, and few are from different systems, but we are only focused on this 192.168.72.130 only. So let's see what is happening right now. So let's go for it. We can see over here that first there is a request and response information which has been started from 192.168.72.130 to 23.63.111 and 227. It's a request and response thing. So we'll understand that this is not the one we are looking for, and it's also not HTTP. There is a second set of requests that is being set number 182, and we can also see the time over here. And over here we can see there's the source of 192.168.72.130, and the destination is 44.228.249.3, and it's a HTTP protocol, and there's a lot of information over here. So there's a conversation that has happened over here, and we can see it. So now we know that we are finding that we have actually looked in the correct place right now. So at first we can see that there is a post response. So what is post and get? To know that, we'll also cover this whole thing in details when we'll move on to the web application hacking portion. We'll need to know more about all this. But for now, let's get a gist of it. Well, when we request a page from internet, like suppose we enter www.facebook.com, so your browser sends a get request, which means that I need to receive this page. Can I receive this page? And the server gives the www.facebook.com. And when you enter those credentials in your facebook.com login page, the browser sends a post request, which means that I want to post this form to the server. So now we understand what is get and post. So now you can also understand that the hacker will look for post requests especially, because those are form fields, which credentials, which are basically credentials. So here we can see there is a post response of a userinfo.php. So let's click on this. Over here we can see a lot of things over here, like frame, Ethernet protocol version, transmission control protocol, hypertext transfer protocol, and HTML form URL encoded. So we are searching for forms basically over here, as I've said earlier. So we'll expand this, and we can see clear as day that the username is username and the password is 12345. So now we understand that how packets come and go inside our network. But now let's see on a practical basis. The hacker will obviously not wish to capture credentials of his system only. Obviously, it will try to capture credentials of a different system within the same network. So to understand that, we also need to know that if the system you are trying to get credentials from is in the same network or not. So to understand that, we'll first fire up terminal, and over here we can see that the subnet mask is /24, and over here if we go in Windows 7, let's fire up command prompt over here. Let's go for ipconfig, and over here we can see the default gateway of this system is 72.2. So what is default gateway? Well, default gateway is basically a node through which the connection or the internet connectivity leaves your system for a different system. So if you want to get www.facebook.com, obviously Facebook is not inside your system, is not inside your server. Obviously, it is the facebook.com is the server is outside of your system. So the system will ask inside that, is there facebook.com that we have inside your server, inside our server? Obviously not. So I need to find the www.facebook.com from outside, and to get to that, the gateway, the connection will basically cross the gateway, the default gateway. So over here we can see 192.168.72.2 is the default gateway of Windows 7, and the default gateway of Kali is, let's see. Okay, this is very clear right now. The default root is 72.2 over here as well, which means that we are inside the same connectivity. So what does that mean? So if we are inside the same connectivity, the Ethernet 0, or the Ethernet actually, which is coming inside the the hacker's machine, the Kali machine, is also going to the victim's machine as well. It is the same Ethernet. So if it is the same Ethernet, the hacker will basically get all of the information. Through Wireshark will basically capture all of the packets and information that are traveling within the Ethernet. If there are 5, 6, even 10 systems that are connected to the same Ethernet, the Wireshark will capture information and packets of all of it. So let's see how it will happen, and how we can capture credentials through Wireshark of a different system in the same network. So let's see how it will happen. So first, clear out this filter. Let's reset this Wireshark for a fresh, clear view. So you have cleared this thing up, and now we'll go to Windows 7, the victim's PC, and we'll use the same page over here. The page we have used, test.php/login.php. We'll use the same website to check it. So this is the login page. We have opened it in the Windows 7 machine, and in this as well we'll do the same thing which we have done in the Kali machine. We'll use a username password like every normal human being. So let's go for it. The username I'll give is ABCD and the password will be something as no pass. So let's see that the hacker will get these credentials or not. Let's log in, and it has happened. So the packet or the information has been received and sent from this system. Let's see we can get these informations or not. So for that, the hacker will first know what is the IP address of the Windows 7 machine. So over here we can see the IP address of the Windows 7 machine is 192.168.72.132. So over here we'll try to find those for which the source and destination is 192.168.70.132. So we can find a lot of those connections that has happened from this 132 and 130 and different destinations. So from this portion, from this point of view, it is very clear now that the hacker using Wireshark is also capturing and seeing data of another system also. So we know that from this point of time. So let's do it again. We'll also search for HTTP as we have done earlier, and over here we can see a lot of things that has happened, a lot of connection that has happened, and over here we can see that there is a conversation that has happened between 192.168.70.132, which is the Windows 7 machine, and between 44.228.249.3, which is the website's IP address. So you might be wondering that how will the hacker know that which destination IP address is of the website that the hacker is looking for to get credentials of. So the hacker will use a tool which is known as WhatWeb. It is very widely used and will use it a lot of times for web app pen testing, which we'll cover later. So for now, let's see how it will work. WhatWeb HTTP test PHP .vulnerab.com/login.php. So the hacker will basically use the URL to find the IP address. Let's see how it will go. So here we can see the IP address shows over here. The IP address is 44.228.249.3. So by this method, the hacker knows what the IP address of the website which he or she is looking for is, and after that it will be easier to sort it inside the Wireshark. It will be much easier. So now we will see that there is a conversation that has happened between 132 and 44.228.249.3, which means that some type of information has been taken place, information 2 and 4. So over here we'll start trying to get for the post request, which you remember which we used earlier. So over here we can see there is a post request between the IP address of the Windows 7 machine and the IP address of the login page. There is a post request, and over here we can see the username is ABCD and the pass is no pass. So this is how the hackers will get credentials so smoothly, so easily if they are inside your network. And it doesn't matter if they are controlling your system or not. It doesn't need any type of other tools or anything. Wireshark is generally used by sysadmins all over the world to get informations of packets. So it's a very normal software. So using a very normal software, the hackers will get this information based just on amount of knowledge and information the hacker has. So now in the next video we'll see that how the hacker basically gets all of this information without all of this hassle. It will be completely hassle free. How the hackers will get the credentials using a technique known as man in the middle. So I'll explain what man in the middle is in the next video. and how the hackers will pull it off, and how easy it will be to gather those credentials using those methods and using those tools.
So hopefully you have enjoyed the video, and in the next video we'll see EtherCap, and obviously you can say that it's a good tool for the man in the middle, and so we'll see that how we can harvest or how we can steal the credentials using the EtherCap as well in the next video. And thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, hit the share button, share with your friends and family because it's for the society. Hit the bell icon as well, subscribe us, keep supporting. Thanks for watching. Thank you.